some type of NoSql course, which is Oracle NoSql database. But especially today we are, I'm going to introduce to you, especially the general term of the NoSql. So first of all, it is mainly what kind of it's kind of overview. Also talk about why is NoSql is coming. Then several types of NoSql we will talk about it. Then finally we are summarized and then give the time to ask question for students. So let's start. So basically, you know, the NoSql is not about without SQL. It is kind of misunderstanding. If somebody hear the term NoSql, they say, oh, we don't need to use SQL now. It is kind of not only the SQL, the right term to understand it, NoSql. Of course, there is a relationship between the relational database and then, of course, object-oriented database. Now we have a NoSql. What kind of relationship we will be explained later on. So, you know, at first, you know, from 1980, the very popular database is being called the relational database, right? So Oracle is one of the relational database. MySQL also. Then Microsoft has a MS SQL. Those are being called relational database. After that, you know, there is very popular. Then, of course, they has such kind of persistence, integration using the SQL statement. They has a transaction, of course, using the reporting system. So it's a lot of feature been come out together with the relational database. Then widely used in this job. Of course, they has some limitation. It is a problem of object-oriented databases coming. It is a impedance problem. So what is impedance problem is, you know, can you say this, the table? There is a, you know, one type of information, which is a particular order. Actually, they come to four different table. So what is the meaning is that we needed to not only the, you know, from the design perspective, engineering perspective, and the database design, it's two different perspectives. So, for example, I'm trying to come to development perspective, talk about this, what's impedance problem. So while you developing the application, you thinking from the usual perspective, user perspective. Then you are going to think about how you can display this information properly in the usual part, whatever the page or report, the web page, or whatever the graphic interface. But the things that while you store the information, the database designer, they think of different way. So there is some gap between the difference your software engineer designer and developer database designer. So this is kind of sometimes it's not there's somehow a gap, mismatched. So it is a problem of impedance problem from my perspective. But also there is also after that, that's a problem of impedance. So that's the reason some people recommend using ORMAP solution, right? So ORMAP is one of the solution. You just design the things just only one perspective. For example, you can come to programming designer perspective, object-oriented perspective. Then you can automatically generate it without database assistant. You automatically generate the relationship. Then it is keep this consistent design. But same time, if you already has a database design, you can come out this consistent design of object diagram or something design. You can extend it. But but still it's not the whole solution of the backend. Then of course some of the people think that this is a solution of object-oriented database, for example. Then people think that maybe rational database dominated 10 years, after then maybe another 10 years dominated. Maybe it's a time to replace by the object-oriented database. So people predicted that it should be happen. So from, it is, but still from 1919 to 20, this 10 another 10 years, still rational database dominated. After that, of course, after then 20 years, people think that this must be, object-oriented database come to populate it. But unfortunately, because rational database widely used in industry and already integrated in the old system, different field, so there is no chance to, object-oriented database is widely used. So still from 1980 to 1910, the 30 years, rational databases dominated all the industry, the industry database market. So yeah. So but from 19 after that after that from 1910, smartphones coming, there is a lot of traffic is generated from internet. So there is so after that, at the first, you can scale the size of the, database. For example, you can increase the performance, but there is while you come to big data, the rational database, it's not too sufficient come out the solution, that too sufficient scalable solution they come out. It's very hard. That's the reason NoSql beginning to start to come the market. But at that time there is no any term about NoSql. So that's the reason there is SQL it's very good to using one server, but if you scaled many server distributed database, it is possible, but it's not easy. Maybe it's not economically easy, but also other issue. So that's the reason there is a big company, for example, Google and Amazon come up the other type of, for example, big table, and then Amazon come up the NEMA, such kind of product. At that time, no one being called NoSql, but it's similar since the scalable database at that time being called. But after that, how is NoSql come out this term? One times such kind of database, for example, Mongo, CouchDB, and then Cassandra, Dynamic, HBase, Hypertable. Those are at the market at the times in the market of the database. Doing a conference. At that conference, people trying to use one hashtag, the hashtag used to NoSql. After that, it is NoSql. Under the NoSql, the term they call it those kind of similar type of database. So that's the reason NoSql is coming. So basically, the NoSql has no rational, but most of them is open source, cluster friendly. It means it's very friendly distributed. And then also 21st century web. It means mostly web mobile application very welcoming such kind of database. Then also the last one is a schemaless data structure. So that's a feature of NoSql. And then if you talk about this NoSQL database, actually there is a 4 type of database we can familiar with. One is a document type, another column family type, another graph, and then finally was the key values. This 4 type can be divided, for example, Mongoose document type, and then Neo-GeForce graph. HBase is you can able to see what such kind of difference, but those are always the same scamalous, scamalous feature. And then 3 of them, document type, column family, key values, aggregate oriented, and then graph is not. Then also there is a, most of them think that NoSQL is no asset transaction, but actually the graph has an asset transaction. So it's not all of them is asset transaction being included, but only the aggregated oriented NoSQL family database, they has a known asset transaction. So it means it's very fast. So aggregate databases don't need asset transaction as much. So it's very important feature in the, there is a type of, there is a 3 type of NoSQL feature. So there is a, why is NoSQL is fast growing? There's a 2 things very important driver in the market. One is the easier development. So it means compared to other database, or there is very easier for developer to learn. Then second is large scale data. So it means it's easier to distribute your database. So scale multiple scale access. It is easy solution for NoSQL. So that's the reason it's NoSQL's fast growing database. So still, that's it. People think if now NoSQL is very popular, so it should be in the futures only the NoSQL dominated. So the question is based on situation. If you are using such kind of enterprise level of fixed organization and then stable development business, still the relational database is good choice. And then also the relational database has a kind of extension of the NoSQL. You can also use it as a one node or distribute one node. But NoSQL, since it's suitable for using such kind of large data, big data, IoT sensor data, such without less transaction, but most of data storage, that's the right place to use NoSQL. So basically, that's all of the content. Basically, we talked about the history of the database till NoSQL. We talked about the relationship between the NoSQL and the relationship and the object-oriented database, and then in terms the problem, then also mentioned a little bit about the type of NoSQL, and then yes, we also talked about that. That's a general explanation of the NoSQL of today's topic. By the way, it is Oracle NoSQL database is just one type of NoSQL. It's belong to it should be a document-oriented NoSQL database. Yeah, that's all. Now it's question time.